Just like safety, that's all that worries me.
As for enforcing this potential new policy, which has one more hearing to make it through, administrators, parents, and students alike all agree it's not enforceable. Instead, it's intended to act as a deterrent. Reporting from Summit Middle School, Joel Waldman, Fox 5 News.
All right, so that's a school policy, but what about a policy at home? What steps can parents take when it comes to online safety? Sometimes it's hard to know where to begin in protecting teens from receiving or sending risky messages over the internet. So here to share some tips for keeping kids safe in the digital world is Leah Sigler and Anna Gapanovich, the co-founders of howlounge, a software training company in Manhattan. Hey guys, just tell me quickly about howlounge and what you do there.
Sure. howlounge is a training facility located in Soho, and what we do is we offer hourly personalized sessions for anything to do with your Mac, your iPad, your iPhone. So it's anything from very basic to very advanced applications.
All right, so if you're a parent, let's say, who needs this type of advice, chances are you're befuddled by all of these software and websites out there. Some of them I mentioned in the intro, I have no idea what they are. Mm-hmm. So let's start out with some basics. How old are kids these days when they start wanting to go on social networking sites? What's normal for asking mom and dad?
Usually around the age of 10 to 11 years old, because at that age they're starting to gain independence. They're starting to gain this new life of their own, and they've got their friends from school that they don't necessarily want to deal with at home. So a lot of that ends up being a thing that they want to do it online. Well, find me on Facebook or follow me on Twitter. Usually around 10 or 11 years old, but that's also, I find, way too young to start being able to have access to that
shockingly young. What should parents do? How do you say no? I mean, what are some of the guidelines that you would suggest for parents in saying no and perhaps an age that's more appropriate?
First of all, you need to be aware yourself. You need to speak to your child. I would say my niece already takes her own pictures, and she knows how to buy her own apps from the
And how old is she?
Store. Just 3.5.
Okay.
That's my daughter.
Right.
My daughter's 3 years old, and the scariest thing about parenting and that your kids having the online access is how much more tech savvy they are than us. I mean, I myself consider myself to be a pretty tech-savvy person, and I already see my 3-year-old daughter doing stuff that I didn't even know I could do on her iPad. And that's where it comes in with the 10-year-olds and being able to access that stuff. My biggest suggestion would be to follow them. Have your own online profiles, have your own Twitter pages, your own Facebook, and if you have that stuff, if you have a presence online, they're less likely to want to share their stuff online.
Oh, really? So if mom and dad are doing it, it's just not cool and they don't want to do it anymore?
Exactly.
That's an interesting philosophy. Let's say, you give your child permission to go on. Do you friend them? Do you make that a requirement of their being able to use these sites, that you get to go and look at them, or does that sort of have a reverse effect?
I'd say it's good to friend them. It doesn't necessarily have the reverse effect. It would if you stalk them online. I mean, but that's like anything with parenting. You're not going to follow them to school every day. You will let them go. You give them the chance to walk to school on their own, but at the same time you're aware. You have a presence there, you're around, and you know the route that they take every day. As long as you know that, you feel better.
And even if you don't follow them, at least you know about all the privacy settings, all the account settings, all the different things that they are at risk of, and then how to change those settings as well. So you can talk to them about the risks and the dangers and how to change it all around on your Twitter account, on your Facebook, Tumblr, everything.
When you're teaching folks how to, make the most of their software and computers, what kind of software do you know is out there that can help you basically know what your kid is doing? I mean, how easy is it to spy on your kid when they're online?
The number one thing we teach parents when they come in, and that is their concern, is actually how to create a separate user account for their kid. So if you go on the computer, you usually, whether you're on a Windows or on a Mac, you can create a separate user account that only you have the password to. And with that user account, you can set limitations. They can only access this website for 20 minutes out of the day. They can only go online for 10 minutes out of the day, and the rest of it is maybe just doing word processing or their homework on the computer. So that's the best way to do it. But then there's also software out there that will allow you to track it, so it'll monitor everything that they're doing. And
one of the examples would be a Mac keylogger. That software literally logs everything, so you can see the history of the websites that your child has gone to. You can see all the passwords. You can see the time that they spent on this website, on that website. So it logs everything. So
okay, So there are a lot of possibilities out there, and think you're not alone, and you can get software and people such as yourselves to help you through that. Well, I want to thank you so much because I know a lot of people have a lot of questions about this. My guests, Leah Sigler and Anna Gapanovich of howlounge. And to learn more about all of today's topics, log on to myfoxny.com and click on Public Affairs. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm Ty Hernandez. We're going to see you next time for more Street Talk.